Hey everyone, in today's video I am going to share with you 3 things to know about your breath and how to make it work for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about some breathing exercises that are really geared towards helping you breathe better in general. Some things that you can do if you feel like you're having a bit of a panic attack or kind of some anxiety, how you can really kind of get centered right away. Very, very little time, no money involved, no practice involved. These things work right away. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share with you a little bonus tip, a hand mudra that I have found that really opens up the body for whatever reason, just kind of allows for a much deeper, more expansive breath. So let's get started. The first thing that I wanted to say about breathing is it is the only unconscious physiological thing that happens in our body that at any moment we can make conscious. And that might not sound like a big thing, but like really it is. I mean, aside, like I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but I know that it really is on the cusp of being on a conscious thing and then a subconscious thing. And really one thing that my breathwork teacher told us at my first breathwork class was it's the bridge. When you start to become aware of how you breathe and how you intake air and how you release air, you are starting the process of making the unconscious conscious. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like an awesome thing to me. Like I really, I don't like being on, like letting the unconscious mind or subconscious mind kind of control my life. I'm really about being a conscious thinker, a conscious breather, a conscious liver. So that, when he said that to me, I really like the light bulbs went on like, oh, I need to learn how to do this. And actually one of the most awesome experiences that I had during a breathwork class, it really came, and it was really about bringing that unconscious or subconscious really forward. So we did the breathwork class, and his is a, oh my gosh, the word is escaping me, what he calls it, an energetic breathwork practice for transformative breathwork. That's what it is, transformative breathwork. And so it's really beautiful. And during the breathing, you're just concentrating on breathing. It's your open mouth breathing, which I know is like a big no-no most of the time. But when you're doing this type of breath work, you do want to have your mouth open, and you're really in your body. You're really getting grounded in your body when you're breathing, and you're moving through emotions, and things are coming up that you either are aware of, aren't aware of. Sometimes you know what they mean, sometimes you don't. But they really start to move things through the body. And then there is this phenomenal rest phase. And I have to say, during one of the rest phases for me in this class, I was really able to allow my intuition, my third eye, to really open. And I, at one point, my grandparents came in, like younger versions of my grandparents, just being very happy. At one point, I saw all of my ancestors just surrounding me, like loving me, supporting me, being together in just this just these concentric circles of just support and love. And it was one of the first times where I really started to understand like what I see here and what I know here is legit. And I can't even say much more about it than that it was just a knowing, like just when that, sometimes things just click, and sometimes you just kind of, it's like a bop on the head, and you're like, oh, I finally get it. I finally freaking get it. And that was one of the many experiences that I've had during breath work. So really just when you start to, like I said, make that unconscious thing conscious, you never know what can happen. And so the second thing that I wanted to share about breathing is really just how you can use it every day to really help you maneuver better through your life. There's a few very basic breathwork techniques that I have found super helpful. Just like I said, managing my emotions, my thoughts, my energy levels. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about those. And so one of the easiest things to kind of understand is that when you're breathing, and by the way, most of the time we should be breathing through our nose. Obviously, when we're talking or eating or exercising, we're breathing a lot through our mouth. But when you're just sitting and resting, a lot of the breathing should be done through the nose. And again, there are scientific reasons behind it, but I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a scientist nor a biologist. I will tell you some of the breath work techniques that I'm going to go over with you today. I just encourage you not to do them if you're driving, in water, operating heavy machinery, or anything like that. So really one of the basic things to understand about when you breathe is when your inhale is longer, you're going to gain energy. You're going to bring your heart rate up, which brings the blood flow up. So that's just a matter of like elongating your inhale and shortening your exhale. And you can do it for whatever is comfortable for you. You can do an inhale of 8 and then an exhale of 5. And if you do it, you can do it right now and you'll see that, you start to kind of get a little bit more energy. You start to kind of feel warm within the body. But just that basic understanding of elongating your inhale is really going to help to kind of bring things up, make your body more alert, make your mind more alert. And on the opposite end of that, probably the breathing that I do most often is the elongated exhale. And that's really going to start to slow everything down. The elongated exhale is going to slow the heart rate, slow the blood flow, slow the, thoughts or mind or whatever that is. And that really starts to help calm you down. I was actually noticing that today. I felt very frantic for some reason. I had a lot to do, but I had plenty of time to do it in, but I found that I was like cooking and making dog food and doing these things, and I knew that I was going to be shooting videos later, and I had some calls to make, like nothing crazy, but for whatever reason, I felt very frantic about the whole thing. And I was moving quickly, and I was holding my breath, and I was just kind of feeling like, I gotta get it all done. And once I kind of noticed that, I just, even as I was doing stuff, I would just inhale and just like really, conscious, elongated exhales. And just for a few minutes. And it really helped to slow me down. Even if I did have to rush, like I'm probably, if I'm cooking, if I'm rushing through it, I'm probably going to end up chopping off a finger or something, not paying attention, trying to hurry through everything. So really just, inhaling and then just like elongating that exhale really starts to kind of just slow the body down and just really kind of bring you back to center. And I had to notice it a few times. It wasn't like I did it once and everything was perfect. I would say for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, I just had to keep reminding myself, like, take a deep breath, elongate the exhale. And it really just started to really slow everything down. And that's, I think, one of the most important things to kind of just understand about breathing. When you're like constantly like, inhaling and like that, it's just gonna get you like more worked up. So the more that you can be conscious of your breath, like I said, being conscious of your breathing starts to make the unconscious things accessible, right? So when we're conscious of the way we breathe, we start to be able to, quote unquote, control our blood pressure, our heart rate, we can slow things down, we can speed things up. And that's really, really important. Something I have found super important about just breathing in general. Another thing that you can do to really help you start to breathe better, because most of us, what they have found is that we underbreathe at night and then over breathe while we're awake. And so what you can do, I believe that like a healthy, wonderful, breathing pattern is only 4 to 6 breaths per minute, because you want to have pauses in between the breath. And again, I'm talking resting breath, like sitting, relaxing, doing work or whatever. So you really want to be able to inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and nice and slow. So one of the things that you can do to start to practice this, like, preferred or best method of breathing is what we call box breathing. And box breathing is just like you picture like a square, right? It's even on all sides. So a lot of times people use like the standard of a count of 4, but really it's gonna depend on your carbon dioxide tolerance. And that has nothing to do with like how fit you are, how healthy you are. It has to do a lot more with breathing and how you typically breathe. So again, one of the easiest ways to do it is just to start with like the 4 count of breathing. So you inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4 before you take your next inhale. And if you can do that type of breathing, not only does it stimulate like your parasympathetic nervous system, which again calms your body down, but it really does like train you to be able to just breathe better normally, without really thinking about it. They say doing that box breathing once or twice a week can really help to train you to breathe better and kind of breathe, at a more optimal type of way, or however you want to call it. If you find that the breathing of a count of 4 is just too much for you, like you can't, it's uncomfortable, you should be able to do it for 2 to 3 minutes at a fairly comfortable feeling. So if you feel like that's too much for you, you can certainly drop down your count to 3. If you feel like the count of 4 is way too easy, you can certainly up it to 5, 6. And the more you do it and the better you get at it, you can even up it to 8 or 9. So really, that's a really wonderful way to, just like I said, overall kind of start to learn how to breathe. I think maybe the most important thing is just taking notice of your breath, right? Like, are you sitting on the couch watching TV, like, like I mean, a lot of times when people get nervous or panic, we tend to hold our breath and our body. We hold it and tense and tight. And it's, you have to really make that conscious effort in the beginning, at least, to let it go. Eventually, it does become like second nature. You just learn to kind of calm the body down. But there's always times, like I said, even for myself, I pay a lot of attention to breathing. And today, even still, like I said this morning, I was very much kind of in an anxiety cycle and really needed to pay attention. And I find that those simple techniques really do help. One of my other favorite like patterns of breathing is, I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's the 4-7-8 breath pattern. And that has been likened to being like a natural Xanax. So really just being able to, not instantly, but certainly very quickly, calm the mind down, calm the body down. So if you ever feel like you're kind of in the middle of having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, or your mind is just so racing, and you really find that you can't shut it off, the breathing pattern that I very much find helpful, again, it's the 4-7-8. So it's going to be a short inhale for 4, and we can do it now because I really do enjoy it. So I want you to do it with me. So take a nice inhale on the count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can do that to go to sleep at night. You can do that, like I said, if you're in the middle of kind of like an anxiety or panic attack. I even notice sometimes when I do it, when I first start, my counting is even a little fast. And then after the second, third, fourth, fifth time, the counting starts to slow, and you can tell that the breathing starts to slow. And it really has been, I used to have anxiety a lot. I certainly struggled with anxiety for a long time. I did not know, how to manage it. I didn't really understand where it was coming from, why I was feeling it. And that 4, 7, 8 pattern. So again, it's inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. That really has helped me out. And it really even helps me out sometimes at night. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, and I feel like I can't fall back asleep, you do that breathing for a little while, and you will find that you can't do it very long. Because the next thing you know, you're sleeping. I really think it's like, I'm pretty sure that you're, just based on, I guess, the way that the counting is, like, you're probably depriving your brain of oxygen. So it's slowing everything down. But it really does work. It really does. It's my favorite. One of my favorite. I use it all the time. I tell my clients to use it all the time. It's wonderful. But really, so the fastest way to induce calm, right? So if you are having a panic attack, or if you have to go on stage and give a speech, or you're just feeling totally overwhelmed by your emotions, what they have found is the fastest way to induce calm is what we call a physiological sigh. And so what that is taking a breath in, topping it off, and then doing like a vocal sigh exhale. And when you do that, you don't want to like push the air out. You really want to kind of like let the air flow out. You don't really need to do a lot of like pushing and forceful exhale. So it looks something like this. So you're going to do one big inhale through the nose into the belly as much as you can in. So it's, and then you're going to top it off through the nose again, and then exhale with a sigh like that. And they have found, like I said, that is the fastest way to induce calm in the body, the fastest way if you're having a panic attack to really kind of just calm everything down right away. It's pretty awesome. Works pretty quickly. And so the third thing that I wanted to discuss is that you can direct your breath around your body simply by your intention. And this can be very useful in healing, in pain relief. It can also just be like a fun, cool experiment. And we can do it right now because it really doesn't take any time. So if you just sit, get comfortable, close your eyes and imagine, where do you want to send your breath? Are you looking to send it, does your knee kind of hurt right now? Does your right side of your back kind of hurt right now? Maybe your fingertips, wherever that is for you, just kind of close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and as you're inhaling, imagine the breath going to that place. And try not to stop inhaling until you feel it get there. So like as you're inhaling, just imagine it going and continue to inhale, as much as you can until the breath reaches that point. It might take a little bit of practice. It might take a little bit of, understanding of what that really feels like, kind of getting quiet, centering yourself and really paying attention to the body, paying attention to the breath. that might help. But it really does help. It stimulates the blood flow. Like when you direct the breath there, it's like bringing oxygen to that area. So it really does help with pain relief. And like I said, I mean, it's really just kind of like a fun thing that you can do. You can breathe all over your body. You can use it for relaxation. Whatever, tickles your boat. I don't know. And actually, as a little bonus, I also did want to share with you. So I recently found a hand mantra from one of my friends that, for whatever reason, like really opens up the body to like more readily accept air. So if you ever have that moment where you're feeling like, where you feel like you can't get air, it might not be panic even, but it just sometimes feels like you just kind of can't get a good breath. So this hand mudra is awesome because you do it right now. So you're gonna put your pinky and your ring finger together, bend your pointer and middle finger, and then touch your thumb together. So like this, and so we'll breathe in once, before you do the hand mudra. In through the nose, into the belly as much as possible. And then do the hand mudra and see how much easier, how much fuller of a breath you can get. And like I said, that really works for me when I'm feeling like I just kind of need to get a few good breaths in for whatever reason, like I'm doing for some shallow breathing or something, or just feel maybe some tightness in my chest and I kind of can't get it out. That mudra really helps. And I don't think you should do it too much. There is such a thing as over breathing. So just do it to kind of get yourself feeling good again, get yourself feeling those nice deep breaths, and that will really help. So that's it. That's what I've got for you today. A few ways to help you make your breath work for you. Please let me know in the comments what you feel, especially when you do the hand mudra. Let me know. It's such an awesome little thing, a little technique that I learned that really has helped me. So let me know what you feel when you're doing these nice deep breathing exercises and how they can help you. Let me know in the comments. And again, if you know someone that you feel like would benefit from hearing this, please feel free to share. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the other side.